Hello, welcome to Still Hunters. So I played in the playtest and I played a week before release because a lot of people who did the playtests got a code to play 1 week before of the release. So that means a lot of people, even at the release date of the game, are very high level. Trust me, level 18 is nothing. I think there are people that are level 50. So what is the problem with the game? Well, the problem is that the game was released in early access and to be honest it doesn't have enough content. Because the base game is good, but if you just have what you see over here right now in the release version, this will not work, this will flop. Mostly because there's not enough content and nothing to really keep the people's interest. So let's speak about what the game actually is, because if you just see me playing the game, you'll think, wow, that's so cool, that's amazing, but it's not that good. There are not that many hunters, for example. I think you need about 20 hunters to really drive in the point of diversity and options. So this is basically, you can consider this guy a rifle soldier, close and medium, but he's mostly medium range and he can throw a grenade. And this is a burst open, yeah, this is more or less medium. And kill that restore structure, that's actually pretty good. Grenade that damages and restore, he has a hybrid grenade, and then we have the Weaver, which has a big cannon. I like it, this is my bot, because the other ones are more human-like and I don't like bears, or... Well, I mean, I like bears, but this is kind of like the best thing you can get in the game, but it's also one of the hardest mech to play with. And he has a minigun as well, minigun and cannon. Ursa just has a short cannon that's super high damage, special armor, which is a problem because the game is not really balanced either. Keep in mind, this is early access, a lot of stuff is not balanced. Swarming missile, glacier armor, which means he basically takes no damage for some time. Link. He actually moves very fast, has a cannon that is, as you can see, mostly all range, all purposes. Plus mark, yeah, it's basically a damage over time effect. This guy over here has a charge cannon that is not very good because unless you charge it, it doesn't really do a lot of damage. If you fire it fast, it doesn't do a lot of damage. If you charge it for a few seconds, it does good damage. You can summon a drone, which is basically what you see on the field. Not as strong, but usually it's quite enough. Vengeance strike is basically like the special attack of the drone. So the drone can call an AoE attack, and so can you. This guy over here, Heartbreaker, is probably the favorite of many people, just a railgun. A sniper rifle. So you can go invisible and you have a sonar pulse that detects nearby enemies. So that's kind of like the presentation of the game, and you might think, wow, that's so cool. Well, what's the game about? That's it, that's the whole game. Sadly, in the current version of the game, you only have one map, you only have one game mode, you can only play one single way, meaning you have a duo team, meaning you will be paired with either a friend or a random enemy that will become your friend because he's in the same team as you. And that's that. You have daily quests, you have combat quests. Now, how do you unlock new hunters? Well, that's actually one of the fair ways to unlock them. Show you. So to unlock a new hunter, you need to spend these things over here, which are basically construct points which you get by leveling up your account. Level up your account, and then you get sometimes something good, something bad. Actually, no, to see where you level up your account, you have to go a little bit further than that. Come level over here, and this is where you'll see all of the rewards. So as you can see, you don't really get that many constructs. After you unlock your first hunters, it will take very long time to unlock all of them, so be careful that you unlock the ones that you like. In the daily missions, you have the daily stuff for a little bit of currency, some boosters. And then if you play with these characters, with all of the hunters, so the more hunters you unlock, the more premium currency you can earn every day by killing enemy hunters in battle. So basically you can get 7 hunters, multiply that 21 premium currency. And per season you get battle points per season. As you can see, we're in the second week of the game. You may be thinking, why are you boring with stuff like this? Why are there so many boring details? Well, that's because I want to show you that this is the entire game. This is everything you see, this is everything you get, and that's it. So that's how you unlock new hunters, that's how you upgrade your hunters, that's how you do the battle pass, which is basically per mission, so you can play 1 million hours. It doesn't matter if you have already done the missions, that's it. As you can see, the battle pass just gives you the normal resources, some skins, but it can also give you gear upgrade core at some point, some boosters, some salvage crates, which will give you some items I'll show you in a second. And that's about it. So it's going to be super slow to upgrade your mechs after a certain while, and they have the loadouts. They have the system trees, which will basically be using either unlock points, which is per level of the mech of the steel hunter. And then you also can upgrade stuff with real money. And you might be thinking, well, that's cool, isn't it? Yes, but the problem is they're also level locked. So that means until you get a certain amount of nodes, you cannot get to the next thing. So that means you need a lot of money, which is very hard to get. You get a few thousand per match, so you'll get boosters when you level up your account level, which means basically I'll play with boosters for a very long time. But after the boosters will be over, that's it. You might be thinking, well, how many resources do you get? You basically get enough resources to get all of the hunters at some point, but this is the catch. You'll never be able to fully upgrade more than one hunter, because the prices will become insane after a while. Look at this, 25, 25, oh, look at this also, 125, yeah, that's not a mistake. The bonuses are actually quite small. The more important things will be the skills that you can put on your hunter. You also have a little bit of, you know, a choice over here between A and D, but to be honest, it's not really a choice, since most people will go with the same thing over and over. You cannot have different builds based on your loadouts, because your loadouts are basically a choice between two skills that are different, but they are not really that different. You also have gear over here. What is gear? Gear is something you get from the chest that you get from playing with high-level players, level 10 and above. So if all of the players are level 10 and above, you have a chance to get salvage crates. They're not loot crates as you might think, they're just going to give you a little skill, which is a it's such a tiny bonus you'll not even notice it, but this is the catch. These tiny bonuses can actually go very far. It can give you, let's say, 270 structure points. And this thing gives you weapon damage 2%, and you might think that's not a lot. Well, after a certain point, the only way to upgrade your mech, your steel hunter, is to upgrade those things, which needs a lot of resources. So whatever you see over here, don't think about it. These are very, very minor upgrades. The ones that really matter are the ones that increase the level of your skill. And if you look at stuff like this, well, you might be thinking, well, that's not so bad, is it? Well, yeah, you get 200 on your shields, which is less than 10%, but because of the way the game works, since you also level up in the game itself, you'll not really feel a big difference. And like I said, these things are super expensive to unlock. So for example, if I want to unlock the next skills, I will need, let's say, 50, 87, 110, 150. You need almost 200 coins. Again, this is for a single account. And after your boosters are done, you'll basically get no money after every fight. This is how you get some of the more interesting tiers of the salvage, but as you saw, there was an item where you can upgrade your skill, and that's kind of it. That's the whole game, so let's start.
Weaver, ready for orders.
This is the biggest problem of the game. There's not enough content, so as you can imagine, there is no level up for your mechs, there's no alternative equipment, there is no alternative nothing. You just select between one or two skills and then you play the game like this forever. I'm not joking. I don't know what the developers were thinking. Allowance, I got an achievement. Yeah, I got a lot of credits. So right now we're going to be paired with a random teammate with a random mech, which might not even be good for our own mech, which might be, he might be, I don't know, level 10, level 15, level, I don't know. I think matchmaking only really starts after you're level 10 on your account, so be careful because it's per account based. But if you are, let's say, level, I don't know, level 20 with a Weaver, you might get matched with a character that has a level 1 Changewalker just because he's doing the quest. So this can get really funny at some point. No, this is a high level player. Because people doing their quest, the daily quest, the kill quest, will just join you randomly and you might lose that game. Because they're not really playing their best match. And as you saw, the boosters are per match, so if you have, let's say, 5 bad matches, you basically lose all of your boosters. But that means you need to have great matches every time you're using the boosters, because there's no point in not using them.
Time to reload. I have lost my shield. New plan required.
don't know where my teammate is. So as you can see, we're getting experience, we're getting a few extra repair
Usefulness of
kits.
this kit cannot be overstated.
Basically, you can only hold 3 repair kits, 1 respawn booster for your teammate, and the other stuff you'll get a bit later. You can get another skill, and you can also get another consumable to use, like a shield or something else. But on the lower right, you see triangles, diamonds, and circles. That's basically your loot. So if you equip this, you get much more damage, or much more shield. It's a little bit unfair. I don't know, I just like the stomp attack of the Weaver. The animations are great, the feeling is great, especially after you see that there is so much destructible environment. But this is the only map you have, and I'm getting really old. Let me show you. Even that. It feels so nice. You feel like Godzilla, and you actually see and feel the scale of the mechs. So yeah, some of the progression can be good, some of the progression can be bad. The graphics are kind of good. I'm not going to give them nice details.
I have them now.
Another problem is that they are pairing real players with bots.
The hunting ground has been opened.
Scheduled reloading.
And I'm not sure why they do that sometimes. But this is like Apex Legends, it's a third party sim.
Enemy squad suppressed. Hoorah!
Especially all of the squads. So basically 2 squads are dead because we were lucky to attack them while they were fighting someone else. By the way, both players get the crates, so don't worry about that. So I assume at some point you'll be able to disassemble some of that to get some materials to upgrade your skill, your gear. So that 2% extra damage might turn into 10% extra damage, and so on. That muted, why? I hope they didn't say anything bad, right, in an online game.
Drops. Do not remain within the strike zone.
You can either get a shield dome, a skill cooldown reducer, or a Colossus, which is basically a big robot that is super slow that you have to run or hide. You can kill it, but it's very hard to kill it, and after you kill it, your mech will jump out of it. Oh, no.
This repair kit alters the plan.
You have a jump and a dodge roll. You only have 2 charges for them, so that means you either jump twice or dodge roll twice. Now just waiting for the drones to appear to kill them.
Scheduled reloading. Enemy ahead.
Where are the enemies? You also have an ammunition skill because, as you can see, you have very limited ammo, and I recommend you use it when you're out of ammo. And the more ammo you get, the longer the cooldown will be. So if you just get, let's say, 10 bullets, the cooldown will not be that big.
This repair kit
Also, sometimes you have to press hold to get an item. It's kind of annoying because, yeah, if you kill someone, another team, and then you're just looking like those guys were,
scheduled reloading.
they are dead, they have no chance, they're out of position. But it mostly depends on my teammate. Okay, this is the smart player. If you get attacked by a rogue drone, you have to be very careful. They do basically 0 damage, but their missile attack does a ton of damage. So that's kind of like the way the developers chose to balance the game. Instead of making it fair or fun, they just made the drones have a super strong attack, a special attack, and the normal attacks does nothing. The normal attack do nothing. As you can see, it's reloading my 3 magazines. Because I reloaded a lot of ammo, the cooldown will be huge. So yeah, you do have to manage your ammo, you cannot just shoot all over the place and expect to win. Also shows you the level of the enemies. Other people are level there's not much to hide, even though the map is huge, to be honest. You don't really have anything to do, so if you don't have anything to do, I guess you'll be hunting other players at some point, so that's kind of a problem. There are not enough activities on the map.
Our enemies have made an error. I have them now.
Legendary supply pod announced.
The legendary supply pod also will contain the Colossus kit, but you can get a legendary supply drop pod either by getting a legendary key, which is random, either by killing players and getting their dog tags, which is also a random mission, or you might get it if you're very lucky from a crate or a drop.
I see an obstacle in the form of an enemy.
They're fighting Jones, and we caught them by surprise.
I have lost my shields. New plan required.
3 squads left. Prepare for the final fight.
Okay, let me get that crate. Let me get that extra damage. The people have been complaining that it's kind of random, so if the enemies get 2 triangles before you, that means they have a lot of extra damage.
Commencing reload. I have lost my shields. New plan required. Make use of my barrier for safety. I should withdraw.
I played that poorly and I just died because my teammate was somewhere here. I don't know. Okay, so that guy just used his ranged attack and I simply died, and that other guy...
Target detected.
Now all respawn with lower health but the same ammo in the magazine. That's his drone, yeah, don't worry.
Reloading.
Legendary supply was open.
By the way, this is a dead end. You cannot go anywhere from here. I cannot reload my ammo. I have no repair kits. I'm basically dead. There's also the issue of the invisible wall, which I hate an invisible wall in a game like this. What did my teammate do? I guess he left the game.
Repair kit wasted.
Protective shields are offline. No repair kit on hand. I must rectify that.
Doesn't matter if I die or not. Yeah, so basically that's the entire game. You can die in literally 1 second, which is the problem. In the beta, in one of the playtests I did, I never played so slow. Doesn't matter, would have died anyway. So let me play another game so you can kind of see how it is. I mean, yeah, I made a mistake, but come on, really? Die so fast you're not... And the biggest issue, let's see what you get after the fight. So I got 1200 experience for the hunter. And what else did I get? Let's see how much gold I got. Anyway, I got basically nothing. You can do the little math.
Pulling the strings.
And that's it. You just die because you made a single mistake one time and your teammate was either somewhere else or running around instead of defending you, because you have very specific guidelines of engagement. So if you are a bear, you run to the enemy. If you are a sniper, you shoot the enemy. If you are that guy, the trench walker, you try to close the distance but not get very close like the Ursa. Just try to get a little bit of a better range on the enemy. So yeah, this game will not survive long just because it doesn't have enough content. The mechs are not really moddable, upgradable or anything like that. You just get a tiny bit of extra power if you level up. So you need to use all of the boosters you get. I can show you this as well, but this is a tier 1 crate. I need tier 2 stuff. Okay. And this is basically booster gameplay. So by the time I finish all of my boosters, I'll probably only be able to upgrade this guy to the Weaver, and then good luck trying to upgrade the other ones. Because at some point it will become almost mandatory for all of your mechs to be upgraded, because if you play with an unupgraded mech, yeah, you basically will do nothing. And the thing you need the most is the tier 3 skill, because the tier 3 skill is the thing that helps you a lot. So if my cannon was tier 3 or level 3, I would get this effect. Awesome. This was level 3, I would get awesome stuff, because I will be able to repair with the gun and the shield. And if I would be able to use the minigun while dashing and jumping, that will be great. Plus, hitting the same target will give me more energy, and hitting the enemy will also increase the damage. So it's such a weird design in my opinion, because they have all of the right things. They have the mech, the mechs, the destructible environment, the skills, the upgrade. I guess the upgrade system is passable for what it is. But to go further than this, like I said, I would need to play so much more and level this guy up so much more. Reach Hunter level 20, but only level 18. We only got a little bit of experience, so get to level, let's say from level 18 to 19, I need to play at least 10 games with a big score. That's not really going to happen. And if you say, let's say a game lasts about 15 minutes, and you get a lot of points and a lot of experience, guess what happens? You will get enough to level up very very fast in the beginning, but after a while, especially after your boosters are done, that's kind of it. Nothing really happens. I would say this is not really an early access game. I would say this is an alpha stage game where everything is working, but you just don't have anything to do. So I just did the same thing for, I would say, 100 times, and I will do the same thing for another time. Basically nothing changes on the map except your position. Yeah, there are some randomized quests, but you just go again to the same drone spawn, you kill the same drone. Now you see why the Ursa is overpowered. I think we'll win this game no matter what happens.
Supply pod available.
Unless we get another team of professional players. But again, this is not a game where you can just duck out of the way. It's more like Call of Duty, to be honest. You just die so fast. So from the moment you see you take damage, that's kind of over. If you don't react in 1 second, then you're dead anyway.
Target detected.
And it really seems like there are still bots, even though they have the player names. Because this guy, look at him, he just moves around them.
Are offline. Time to reload.
What is that Ursa doing?
Damage being mitigated now. Need a minute to reload. Make use of my barrier facility. Come on, reload.
Objective
This should get their attention.
So that guy is basically letting this guy walk all over me. And he didn't even defend my flank, so this will be the biggest problem when playing with the duos. That guy was so focused on killing this guy, he basically doesn't care about what happened to me, and if that happens, yeah, you have no choice. So the only way to win is to gang up on a single enemy, kill him, and then the rest of the job is done, see? He could have killed that Weaver so easily, but no. He had to wait a long time. By the way, a sniper has no chance against a Ursa. This is a new player for sure.
Target detected.
This is unbelievable. This is what I have to deal with. So as you can see, playing with random people is totally worthless. That's definitely not a player
The
that...
web is ever
I don't think
growing.
that guy played a lot of games.
match
He
found.
was just looking at the enemies. He had so many occasions to either help me, kill the enemies, nothing happened. So this game will make you super salty because it's 2 versus 2. and you will die in literally 2 seconds if you focus fire on a single enemy. But the same happens if you're not careful. So I lost a lot of HP trying to help my teammate because I was attacking his target, and he completely ignored me when I needed his help. I mean, you can only see the enemy on the minimap, so there's no chance he had no idea what was happening. So yeah, prepare to be angry at the game because the matchmaking is horrible. The player base is so split up because you had people who played for a week and people who are just picking up the game now, plus people who play the game a lot more in the playtest. You also will have streamers with their own communities which will level up super fast, because if you have a good team in this game, yeah, you can make one level every 10 fights, right? Every 10 games, one level. But if you play at randoms, you might even need 50 games to gain one level, and I'm not even joking. This is not the first time I'm having bad luck with teammates or just games in general. And this is because I chose to play with the Weaver. If I was playing any other mech in the game, I would be so much more stronger, but no, I choose to play with the Weaver because it's the most interesting mech. So the game will actively punish me because I chose a character or a mech that is not that good. So I don't know. And people will say, well, the Weaver is one of the best mechs. It's trash. The Weaver is simply trash, and I am forced to play with the Weaver because I put all of my upgrades into the Weaver. The Weaver is trash, and nobody can deny it if they played the game a lot. If you're a new player who say the Weaver is great, but as a veteran player, nobody will play the Weaver. It's such a trash mech. No mobility. Very low damage output. When we get to level 3, we'll get very, very tanky, but until you reach that point, this mech is trash. And keep in mind that other mechs that are the same or similar level, they'll just have more damage than you. So, it doesn't really feel like a mech game, it just feels like you're playing, how should I put it, you're playing a Call of Duty game. Which is a horrible mistake.
I will use this repair kit later.
The developers really had something special with them. Oh, by the way, look at this. It's so cool when you're in the water. Also, you don't get spotted by the enemy instantly. By the way, that's the legendary key, and they'll be visible on the map at all times.
Commencing reload. Defensive shields in the air. This repair kit alters the plan for the better.
I hope this time we'll play more, but if not, well, I'll just show you the... That's definitely a bot. Water gun is a bot. But the bots are very, very bad at their jobs, but they're also very vicious. It feels so wrong to get attacked by bots because you either kill them very fast, or sometimes they'll actually kill you. It is there in the game to simplify progression, but why would the developers cheat by giving you bots?
Enemy squad is out. Teleport activated. Boxes are reloaded. Prepare for the final fight.
3 squads remaining because one of them was a bot, so there'll be 6 squads in the game, but most of the times you'll have 1 or 2 teams as a bot, so basically the other team will be left to do whatever they want.
Valuable loot is inside.
By the way, how many times can you open the same loot pod? Okay, let's see what's next. So yeah, pre-made teams will just wipe the floor with you.
The hunting ground has
Randoms are just
destroy the road.
going to make you scream at your screen. I don't know how that guy could play so badly with that Ursa, it still annoys me. Because I know how strong the Ursa can be. I played with Ursa a few games and that's almost impossible to beat. So basically all we have to do, we have to go and farm the stupid hunting area. And basically 90% of the game is walking anyway. I take damage, like the one of the leg, yeah, that's damage.
Orbital drops. Do not remain within the strike zone.
You also cannot fight in this building, so if you don't have momentum, you'll not destroy it. Such a cool mechanic. If they would have introduced, let's say, tanks, helicopters, human soldiers, RPG squads, artillery, APCs, infantry fighting vehicles, this would have been such a good game with PvE, but no,
This
instead of
repair kit alters the plan for the better.
good PvE, you just have
Probably dangerous. Most stuff is after all.
you have these random crates, and I think the last tier of the crate can give you legendary key.
Objective
Enemy
updated.
ahead.
Drone wave incoming.
That's such a bad idea to attack an enemy.
Protective shields are offline.
So not only that, do they have a shield,
I have been detected.
yeah, it's the Fenrir again. I died in a second.
Squad has been wiped out.
So basically we got third party yet again, and yeah, you done in a split second. I cannot believe how little information you get and how fast you die. So basically, even if I'm this high level and I'm playing relatively well and careful, and even if I had a good teammate, sometimes just die. And this is what I don't understand about the game. Why do they change it from a slow methodical game that was in the playtest, where people complain you die too slow, to a Call of Duty game, or just die based on element of surprise most of the times? But as you can see, sometimes you just don't have a choice, because sometimes you farm for 10 minutes and die the same way. So I don't know. I guess it depends on people who, if they like the game or not. But to be honest, it's so off-putting knowing that I'll never be able to play another mech just because I'll never have the resources to play with another mech to upgrade them. And I have chosen the weakest mech in the game to play as my main. It's so stupid. I don't know, I guess wait for more content, just leave the game alone for 1 year, play the game for 10 hours and then leave the game alone for 1 year and come back to it. Otherwise, they have to balance the whole game, rebalance the game, introduce a lot more content and some other stuff. Yeah, this is the game, bye bye.